Hello everybody, and welcome to 10-Minute Nodes, a guide to the visual scripting tool for space engineers. Today, we'll take a look at planning our level script, starting our level script, and attaching our level script to the world we have already created. Alright, one thing I want to get into before we start our level script right now is planning. Planning is very important as it tells you how to work on your level script and which sections to work on when. For our level script, we're going to be following Keen Software House's guide to a deathmatch scenario. It's a very good place to start, and at the end of it, we're going to add in a little bit more functionality to make it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more complex. So the first thing you want to ask yourself when planning for your level script is exactly what do you want your level script to achieve? Now that question and the answer to that question is very important moving forward working on your script because it will dictate how your script comes together as you work on it. The next part that I want to go over is breaking up your script into little sections. Since we're following Keen Software House's guide to a deathmatch scenario, you can see in the guide that they've actually broken it up into 3 sections. One section takes care of player assignment to a faction and teleporting them to their base. The next one checks for a victory condition and then ends the game based on that victory condition. And then the third one is preventing people from doing anything that you don't want them to, like for example, grinding through your spawn selection room. Alright, so very quickly we're going to make a very basic level script. This is not going to be used that much today because I just want to make it so I can show a couple other points I want to cover in this video. So really quickly, let's open up our visual scripting tool. And once that's loaded up, go over and select New. Make sure that it says Level Script, and we're going to name this VST_DM_sample. Click Create. And really quickly here, I'm going to go over to the Events tab, and I'm going to add in 2 area trigger entered nodes. You do that by selecting and double clicking them in the list. And just move those around there. And that's pretty much all we're going to do for this level script, so go over and click Save. Make sure you're in your content path for Space Engineers, which on a normal computer is local disk C, program files times 86, Steam, Steam apps, Common, Space Engineers, content. Once you're in there, go to the Visual Scripts folder. Once you're in there, if you don't have it already, make a VST examples folder like what I have here. We're going to be using that through the rest of the tutorial series, so it'll be very useful. Once you have that made, open it and save your level script inside of there. And that's pretty much it for what we're going to be using the visual scripting tool for today. So you can go ahead and exit out of there. Alright, so I'm going to go over how to attach your level script to the sandbox file for the world you want to use. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. One way of doing it is to manually edit the sandbox file, and then the other easier way to do it is to use the visual scripting tool. Now, I'm going to cover the visual scripting tool because manually editing the sandbox file is a little bit more advanced, and we can cover that later if we need to. So really quickly, open up your visual scripting tool. And up here on the left, you should see something that says Attach. So if we click that, it'll open up a Windows Explorer box. And so you're going to want to navigate to your save files for your Space Engineers. So you can do that by going up here and clicking and then typing in %app_data%. In here, scroll down until you find Space Engineers. Then double click on your saves and the weird number. And you can see here, mine's down at the bottom, yours might be elsewhere. We can see our VST example scenario from the world that we made and select the sandbox. And so it'll pop up with this attach dialog, and you can set the world name, you can set the loading image, you can set the loading text, and you can also set the level scripts and the state machines. Now, as you can see here, mine already has a level script set. That's because I've done this a few times. So I'm just going to remove that, and this is what it should look like when it first pops up. So when you click Add Level Script, it'll again pop up with another Windows Explorer box. This time, you're going to want to navigate to the content path of Space Engineers and go find your visual script that we've made together. And then select Open. And you can see here now that that's listed. And then just click Confirm. And that's all you need to do to attach your level script to your Word file. It doesn't matter if you do any changes to your level script. It will still be attached, so you can do as many changes to it as possible. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to talk about today is preparing your files for upload onto the Steam Workshop. So really quickly here, open up a new Windows Explorer file, or window, and navigate to your app data folder. Once in there, find Space Engineers, and then this time click on Mods. And in here you should see maybe a couple folders. If you don't, that's okay. But if you have any mods downloaded from Steam, you should see a bunch of these things with a whole bunch of numbers on them. And still, if you don't see those, that's okay. So really quickly, right click and create a new folder. And let's rename the folder VST underscore example underscore scenario. Open that up, and in here create a new folder and name it Visual Scripts. Keep in mind the capitalization here because that's very important. And create another folder called Custom Worlds. And again, keep in mind the capitalization. This is very important, and I'll explain that in a moment. So really quickly, open up a new Windows Explorer window. You can do that by pressing Control-N, and you'll see here we're still in the same place in this one. In this window, navigate to your content path for Space Engineers. Go to Visual Scripts, select the VST examples folder we have, copy that, going back over to the other window here, double click on the Visual Scripts folder, enter it, and then paste that folder in here. And then you can back up one step. Once you've done that, go back into the content file path for your Space Engineers. Go to Custom Worlds, select your VST example scenario folder, copy that, back in the mods folder here, go to the Custom Worlds folder in there, and then paste that file we've just copied into here. And so that's all you need to do to prepare your example scenario and the script for it for upload. Now, if you were to just do a script, you would not need this Custom Worlds folder. You would just need the Visual Scripts folder and then the Visual Script folder from the content path in Space Engineers for the script you were using. And so each time that you update your Visual Script or your Custom Worlds, or even just the sandbox file for that matter, you need to make sure that you go back into this mod folder and update those files in here. So you can close out of these. And really quickly, if you open up your Space Engineers, alright, so now that we're in Space Engineers, really quickly click New Game, and click Custom Game, and then click Mods. And over here you should see VST Example Scenario. So if you select that, over down here on the right you see that Publish lights up. So if you click that, it'll ask you, are you sure you want to upload and publish the selected mod to the workshop? And it says blah blah blah. And then it'll ask you to select tags. I normally do scripts and other. There's not really a selection for scenario, so that's up to you. And then you'd click OK. If you click OK, it'll say it's uploading and publishing, and then it'll say it's published, and then it'll pop up with an overlay saying, hey, here's your scenario. And then once you're in here, you can edit title and description. You can add images and videos and do normal stuff how you normally would upload to the workshop. Once that's done, you can exit completely out of Space Engineers, and you can congratulate yourself on uploading your very first visual script to the workshop. And that's pretty much it for uploading. Just make sure that whenever you do any changes to the Levelscript or to the world file, that you push those changes over into the mod folder file as well. One last thing to keep in mind is that anytime you make any change to the mod folder or any of the files in the mod folder, is you're going to have to go back through that process of uploading to the workshop. However, as long as the name of the folder stays the same, it'll update your item instead of posting a new item. And that concludes this tutorial video. Next time we'll start with the team assignment and teleportation for our visual script. But that is all. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.